as she steps off the train. Nobody noticed or even knew her name. She left home with her heart in her bag. She left behind everything she never had. Reckless man and cheap dirty lies. She had hell to pay written in her eyes. Sweet smiles of madness shimmer with delight. You wouldn't know, but she had mischief on her. That should hopefully be the end of the intro music. If you heard the intro music. If you didn't hear the intro music, there was no intro music. Anyway, welcome. My name is Stoney Broke. Thank you very much for being here. It's Thursday. It's 8:15. It was just after 8:15. And it is that Stoney Broke guy with me, Stoney Broke. I'm going to play a little song to kick things off. See if you know this one. This is called Who Told You He Loved You? Well, she talked about love, and she talked about sin, and she talked about all that mess that she's been in. Well, she talked about me, and she talked about us, and she talked about me, and love in the dust. Well, we only got one thing figured out, and it ain't gonna work around you here no more. Well, we talked about gold, but that only gets sold. Well, we always knew things weren't gonna be this good. Well, she talked about love, and she talked about trust, how she ain't got none of that in this heart of rust. Well, she took one look in my eyes and said, this ain't gonna work around you here no more. Well, she talked about love, and she talked about sin, and she talked about the jar his hands were slipping in. Well, she talked about me, it's all lies you see. Who told you he loved you, and you believed it? Well, we only know love is blind to her, and it ain't gonna work around you here no more. Well, she took one look in my eyes and said, this ain't gonna work around you here no more. Oh, here no more. Oh, here no more. Thank you very much. Welcome, folks. How are we all doing? Let me see where you are. There we go. How are you? How are you doing, Barry? You all right? Let's see how things go with this one. Anyway, welcome. This is another episode of That Stoney Broke Guy with me, Stoney Broke. That was called Who Told You He Loved You? And for anyone that was paying attention, the guitar wasn't quite properly in. So, yeah, that went well, didn't it? We'll do that one again. We'll do that one as a dry run to make sure everything was going all right. But welcome, yes, this is another episode of That Stoney Broke Guy. We'll be having a bit of a chat, playing some more songs for you, and making sure that you're okay in this lockdown time. But hope you're all well, and yeah, thank you very much for tuning back in again. This is another Thursday. Everyone's just done the clap for the carers again, which is always good to see. And yeah, hopefully we're all we're all keeping well and keeping going. Another 3 weeks of lockdown, so we're at least another 3 weeks of this show, and then we'll see what happens beyond that. But yeah. So this week we're going to have a little bit of a chat about a couple of things. I've been slightly under the weather today myself, so this might be a slightly shorter episode than it was last week, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, today I'm going to be talking about what's on your stereo, where I'll be introducing the 3-track minds concept as well. So we'll do that in just a little bit. And we're also going to be talking about band merchandise, including band t-shirts. Normally I don't wear band t-shirts, normally I wear a long sleeve t-shirt, but yeah, I thought today I wear my Nazareth t-shirt, which I got when I went to see them on tour. They played in Ayr in Scotland, and I went to see them at the Town Hall in one of the final tours that he did with original singer Dan McCafferty. So yeah, we'll be talking about that, and we'll also be doing a very, very quick gloss over what Ticketmaster did this week when they changed their returns policy. Ooh, boo, nasty Ticketmaster. But yeah. So, yeah, we'll jump straight in, I think. But I hope everyone is doing okay. We're going to talk about band merchandise, first of all. So, I did a live stream last Sunday. We did it on Facebook, and it was very, very good. And we got people involved, and there was some donations and things came in on the PayPal link, which is paypal.me /Stoney Broke Music, if anyone wants to donate anything, but of course only if you can. And with that, it was that if anyone chucked money in the virtual tip jar while I was doing the gig, I would send out MP3s, copies of MP3s if anyone didn't have my EP or my single and things like that. And also if they put in a little bit more money, there was t-shirts which I have for sale. So cleverly, we'll show you my t-shirt as well. So this is my band merchandise. This is my t-shirt. This is a Stoney Broke t-shirt which you can normally buy at gigs when the world allows gigs. Catch. Yeah, you can buy those along with CDs, and I've got LPs and things as well. And it got me to thinking about band merchandise. Now I've got a drawer full of band t-shirts, and I think each week we'll maybe do, or some weeks we'll maybe do a little drop in and say, what is your favourite band t-shirt or band piece of merch? What did you buy when you went to see a band in concert? And just hold on to it to this day. So this t-shirt is one of my favourites, actually. I don't wear it that often because it's a size too big, to be honest. But yeah, Nazareth went for the bagpipes with Nazareth across the top, and I always really liked that. I thought the design was quite interesting for a band t-shirt, especially because it kept their Scottish roots going. And I also have a few others. So I've got loads. I've got Iron Maiden t-shirts. I've got Status Quo t-shirts. I've got a Robert Cray t-shirt, which I like as well. It's a lovely shade of blue on that one. But in recent times, especially the bigger gigs, not so much the smaller acts, because the smaller acts, you know that the merchandise is then going straight into the pockets of the acts. It's basically keeping them afloat whenever you buy a t-shirt, normally to pay for fuel or something to eat on the way home. But yeah, I went to some gigs, and the t-shirts themselves were up to sort of like 35, 40 pounds. Some pieces of merch were up to 55, 65 for a hoodie. And it starts to become just that little bit, starts to just kind of grate a little bit too much. I think it was Alice Cooper we went to see, and he had hoodies that were 65 pounds. And you start to think, well, this is Alice Cooper. He's one of the biggest acts that music has seen. He obviously will no doubt get some very tasty discounts on some of his merch as well. But yeah, for £65, you wonder what the markup is, and wonder whether it is giving enough back to the people that come to the gigs. But there you go. So yeah, each week we'll maybe do a different t-shirt or something like that, just to break things up. But yeah, if you're watching this or you watch this back, please let me know what is your favourite piece of merch you ever bought from a gig. It can be anything you like. I saw someone shared a post the other day where it was a sweatband that they bought from a gig in the 1970s, or that old Rolling Stones t-shirt that they bought, and it doesn't really fit them anymore, but it's always been one of their favourites for whatever reason. But yeah, and thinking about that, and thinking about merch, and especially thinking about Lisa Alice Cooper, it got me on to thinking about what Ticketmaster did this week. Now obviously Ticketmaster and then Live Nation, who I believe are the owners of Ticketmaster, they changed their returns policy based on all of what's going on, and they would reschedule gigs, but they wouldn't guarantee refunds on certain gigs. which seemed like a little bit of a low blow to the gig goer, to be honest. They've now backtracked and said that it's up to the artist whether they want to fulfill a refund if the gig can't go ahead. So that seems a little bit like passing the buck. I don't know. But certainly, it's one thing whether you're a smaller act and it's maybe £3 or £5 or something like that they've put down, whether a deposit, the full price of a ticket, up to a tenner maybe. And if you lose out on some of that, then it's it's probably going into the artist's pocket. But especially considering some gigs are up to £85 and £90 a ticket if you go to the likes of the Hydro in Glasgow, and Ticketmaster always charge you for the postage, even though a lot of them now are on your phone. There's now no guarantee that you can sell a ticket on, because it's now a changed process again. So yeah, it seems to have been an unnecessary move, especially without giving anyone any warning, but the one that has definitely got some hackles up around the music industry. So yeah, if you saw that news, or if you've bought tickets and there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to make the rescheduled date, do you think the Ticketmaster were right or wrong, especially if they're now putting it at the feet of the artist? So it sounds like a big move anyway. But yeah, that's the two things in the music industry this week that made me think about it, was seeing merchandise and then seeing obviously what Ticketmaster did with refunds. So yeah. But just a little bit of a recap, moving on from that. Obviously, that's a little bit of serious news in music. But yeah, we'll try and keep things lighthearted for you. But yeah, if anyone missed it last week, the schedule for this, for each week, involves this. A whole range of things, normally with me playing music and then waffling in the middle. But yeah, so this is That Stoney Broke Guy, where we have gig news and general updates. At the moment, there's not much gig news. Not much. I will give you some, but there's not much. But yeah, 3-track minds, what's on your stereo? We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And obviously we do gear chat and things as well. Last week we talked about this very guitar, which is in my hands today. And yeah, we will do that again as well. Yeah, I'm going to play another song anyway. So if you've been following all that I've been doing, on a Wednesday evening, I go live on Facebook and on Instagram, and I do one song Wednesdays. And it's as simple as that. I just play one song. You come along, you have a listen to that song. I give you a little bit of a backstory on why I wrote it, what the lyrics involve, and things like that. And so yesterday I played a song that I wrote in 2016, and it was part of the EP writing process, but it never actually made it onto the EP. And last night after I did it, and even in today, I've had comments about it, I've had messages about it, so people seem to really like it. I'm going to play it again, in actual fact, just because people seem to enjoy it that much. So yeah, that's always nice to hear. So if you missed it, this is a song about absent friends. This is a song about missing people, and it was written at a time where I did miss people, and we had lost a couple of personalities in and around our house, which led me to write this song. So yeah, this is called Hardest Heartbreaks, and I hope you like it. It was a Tuesday when she turned around and kissed me. Said, baby, watch me walk right out your door. She never told me she was leaving. All those many nights before. She could be your nightmare in the morning. She could be your daydream late at night. When she left without a warning, trying to make everything alright. These hardest heartbreaks last forever. This old heartbreak starts with you. Though the memories remain, they crack then they fade. But this old heartbreak starts with you. When I last saw you, you were crying. This world around you so unfair. And I still wish I knew the answer. Still trying to find out why you're not here. Hardest heartbreaks last forever. This old heartbreak starts with you. Though the memories remain, they crack then they fade. This old heartbreak starts with you. Heartbreaks last forever. This old heartbreak starts with you, yeah. Oh, the memories remain, they crack then they fade. This old heartbreak starts with you. This old heartbreak starts with you. This old heartbreak ends with you. Thank you very much. There we go. That was Hardest Heartbreaks, folks. A little song that was written in 2016. So yeah, it's getting on a bit now. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that one. That was written for absent friends, people you miss, people who are no longer with us. And yeah, unfortunately, with everything that's going on, there's a few of them around. But yeah, so nice little song, that one. I'm enjoying playing that one again. I haven't played it for a while, so thought I'd play it 2 nights in a row just to make things a little bit interesting. Yeah. So yeah, you like that one, Barry? Good. It's one that keeps sort of resurfacing. I'm never quite sure what to do with it, whether to give it the band treatment or whether just to do it acoustic. So it might end up on something soon anyway. But watch this space. We'll see what we can do for you. But right, we are. So we'll move on to the next section anyway. Like I said, this one's going to be a fairly condensed episode, I think. But we are going to go on to a little segment which is called What's on Your Stereo? And yeah, you can tell that I've not made any jingles yet. But so this is What's on Your Stereo. It's what you've been listening to this week. It's what's been going on around your head. So Barry, if you're still near your keyboard, what have you been listening to this week? I know you gave us a few last week as well. You're always good for some suggestions. So if you want to shout them out, please do. But this week, I've been listening to a few different things. I've just kind of been dipping into things rather than specific albums. But sort of this week, I've been revisiting a lot of my old material again. So yeah, I've been doing that slightly weird thing where on my walk today, I was marching around the streets in the sunshine and the wind, and listening to my own material from quite a few years ago and picking faults with it. And it's quite weird because normally I put on other people's tunes and just take off, and it kind of gives me the motivation to keep going round my walk. Depending on who I'm listening to, if I'm listening to Iron Maiden, for example, the walk will be finished quite quick. But when you're listening to your own material and you're picking out faults and things with it, there are moments where you almost stop and just go, why did I write that? Why did I come up with that? But it seemed like a good idea at the time, and there's 2 or 3 songs that from it I quite fancy going back and revisiting. So yes, I'll be pulling that forward, and hopefully redoing some of those as well. I was tempted to redo a lot of old stuff, but I think I've got that much new stuff, I may as well just keep going. But yeah, Barry, I've been listening to Chasing the Train. Yes, Chasing the Train from Dumfries, a rock band with blues roots and things as well. They've just released their debut album, Dead Man's Handle, which came out, I think we're still in April. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, 2 Fridays ago, I think it was. So it's just come out if you're interested in that kind of thing. They're on Facebook. I think it's Chasing the Train Blues is their handle. But yeah, if you type in Chasing the Train and look for them, it's on there. But Don't You Lie to Me, yeah, that's the last track on the album, I think. I think that was the one that stuck out to me, whether it's because I've not really heard it before, but it's got some nice ideas in it. Yeah, I quite like that one. But yeah, so this week, the only album that I've really been listening to in full again is one album that I've already waxed lyrical about this. I think I've even put it on my pages. But this is going to introduce a brand new segment. And again, I don't have the jingle made for it, but there will be a jingle, I promise. And this is called 3-Track Mind. That's where the jingle would come in. But yes, so 3-Track Mind, the principle is very, very simple. 3 of us were sitting in the pub one day and came up with the idea to try and pick our favourite songs from albums. And rather than picking one specific song from an album, we thought we'd narrow it down to the top 3 songs from any particular album. The idea came because we were going to see Iron Maiden, and we got into the long, endless discussion of what was the best Iron Maiden songs. And you soon start to go, well, okay, you can't pick the best one, so you then pick the best 2. Oh no, you can't pick 2, you have to pick 5, and then you have to pick 10. And it goes on and goes on and goes on. So it's easier to pick album by album. So the idea is very, very simple. It's 3 minds, top 3 tracks from each album. My co-hosts, unfortunately, are unable to join me. There may be some weeks that they do, or we may just record specific versions for your downloading pleasure at other times. But so today we're going to do What's in Your Stereo 3-Track Mind, or 3-Track Mini Mind, if you fancy. And the album in question isn't particularly new, but to me, I only found out about it a few months ago. And it is honestly one of the best albums I think I've heard in recent years, at least, if not ever. Because I know if you say it's the best ever and say great album and things, it's often overused, and quality and class and greatness and things. But the album in question is this. It is Southern Avenue, Keep On, and it is fantastic. For anyone who's a fan of blues music, R&B, soul, all of that kind of stuff all thrown in, it has a bit of everything. So they have a female vocalist. They also have a female drummer. Doesn't really make that much of a difference, but I know in these days of equality, yeah, they're a fantastic band. They use organ, they use brass section and things as well. Oops, that's not the right one. That's me. That's not Southern Avenue. But yeah, Southern Avenue, Keep On. So this album has been going round and round and round on my stereo in recent months, and obviously this week again. And here's the back of it. There's the track listing and the vinyl edition of the album. And yeah, I'm going to pick my top 3 tracks on the album. Although the whole thing is very, very good, it actually made it more difficult to pick 3. I don't actually think there's a bad song on the album. And like I say, because this is quite a loose review type thing, well, it's not even really a review, it's just an opinion on my opinion on the favourite tracks on the album, rather than a review. So I think it would be quite poor to try and review certain tracks. But anyway, so in at number 3, again, I've not done any jingles for this, and I've not even done any panels for it. But so my third favourite track on the album is a song called Too Good For You, which is just brilliant. It's if we get the backup, it is where are we? Too Good For You. It would be track 8 on the album. It's brilliant. It's got funky little hooks to it. It's quite light, and it's also got a cheeky sense of humour, including my favourite line. I'm going to read this properly rather than trying to put it in. The line is, "Lacking ambition, no passion, you ain't without me." And in the context of the song, I think it's in the second verse, and it's just brilliant. It sits perfectly in there. So yeah, my number 3 track on Keep On is Too Good For You, which is just great. And at number 2 in 3-track mind for Southern Avenue Keep On, it's track number 1. It's the title track. It's Keep On, which again, the thing that I found with this one came up in a playlist on a streaming platform, who paid me not very much money. But the thing I found with this one is it makes you move. You feel it and start to groove along with the track. And there's a live version on YouTube. If you type in Southern Avenue Keep On live, and I think it's Jam at the Beach, and it's just great. You can just see the energy, and you can see it's got sass, it's got soul, it's got everything about it. And that is my number 2 track on Keep On. And drum roll, at number 1 on 3-track mind for the Southern Avenue album Keep On, it is Lucky. The track Lucky has always been a standout for me from when I first listened to the album all the way through. It stood out for me as a brilliant track. Again, it's probably leaning more on the soul side of things rather than sort of the blues or the rockier elements of the album. It uses horn brilliantly, and the singer, whose name is Tierney Jackson, does a beautiful vocal break in the song, and it's just great. The wording of it and how it just makes you feel warm inside, the way the music should do. And so that is my number 1 track. That is number 1 on 3-track minds for Southern Avenue's Keep On is Lucky, is my favourite track on the album. So there you go. So number 1 was Lucky, number 2 was Keep On, and number 3 was Too Good For You. Like I said, the whole album to me is brilliant, but yeah, those 3 tracks in particular are my top 3, and that is a condensed version of 3-track mind. And that's what that is we pick an album, we pick our top 3 songs off the album, and then we talk about it. So there you go. That's going to be a new segment for you. But yeah, that's on What's on Your Stereo this week, and on Barry's Stereo this week is Chasing the Train from Dumfries. So yeah, give it a listen. But like I say, folks, this week is a slightly condensed version of that Stoney Broke guy. Unfortunately, I have just been a little bit under the weather. I've been back at night shifts, working stacking shelves of all things. So today didn't wake up feeling too fresh. I'm sure everything will be fine, but rather than drag this out and perhaps make mistakes or start to fade a little bit towards the end, I'm going to do just another track for you. This is on my EP from 2016, and this is a song that I often close the show with, and I hope you like it. It's called Nothing But The Truth. Here we go. My baby's got a new idea. understand what's going on around here. Always told me you're the one for me, but I'm not blind now. Tell me, what do you see? You always told me things were working out alright. Shouting at me for staying out all night. Always thought of the mistake we made, and I'm just glad that it wasn't me that bad. Can't tell you the things you never know. My dears, you see that all for sure. Nothing ever made much sense at all. Just tell me the truth, or nothing at all. My baby doesn't hang around in here. She might return and then I feel. Always thought no mistake we made, and I'm just glad that it wasn't me that bad. Can't tell you the things you'll never know. My dears, you see that all for sure. Nothing ever made much sense at all. Just tell me the truth, or nothing at all. Can't tell you the things you'll never know. My dears, you see that all for sure. Nothing ever made much sense at all. Just tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth now. Just tell me the truth now, baby, yeah. Just tell me the truth. Oh, tell me the truth now. Or nothing at all. Nothing at all. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you so very much. So, that was another edition of That Stony Broke Guy. Hope you enjoyed it. We've just had a little bit of a blather tonight. Just like I say, a little bit of a shorter episode than we did last week. Just to try and kind of get on and get back in a bit of a rhythm. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. This Sunday, if you're interested, we were talking about gig news. So coming up this Sunday, if you're on Facebook, I am going to be doing a live stream gig again with, but this time in collaboration with the Spinner's Arms, Cummersdale in Carlisle. I'm going to be going live on their Facebook page. So if you go to my page, which is Stoney Broke Music on Facebook, you'll find the details there. There will be an event which you can click interested or going, and then in there will be the details obviously for the live stream as well. So if you want to see more, if you want to see a full set, it will be on Sunday night at 7 o'clock, and that's with the Spinners Arms Cummersdale. So come along, give me your suggestions. We're going to vary it up. If anyone saw my gig on Sunday that we did with the Meandering Bear and the Greyston Unity in Halifax, I'm going to be trying to do things a little bit different. So any songs that were missed out from that, I'm going to try playing those, and I'm going to throw in a couple of extra covers as well. So this week we haven't done cover of the week because YouTube gets a bit funny, and I have to cut the cover out and then repost the live stream video for anyone to watch. So we haven't done it this week, but we'll do it for future weeks. We'll bring that one back as well. So but yeah, thank you very much, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, we're gonna kind of call it at that. So my name is Stoney Broke. Thank you very much for being here. This is That Stoney Broke Guy, and I'll see you again next week on Wednesday for One Tune Wednesday, and then Thursday back here on YouTube for another edition of That Stoney Broke Guy. Get your requests in, get your messages sent through. I do like them. And I'll see you again soon. Cheers!